Hello, my name's David Ibbett. I'm the director of Multiverse concert series and resident composer here at the Center for Astrophysics, Harvard and Smithsonian. Multiverse creates science symphonies, orchestral music that tells profound stories about our universe, science, and our place within it, all through the universal language of music. We're embarking on a new journey to explore the early universe, the first billion years, as revealed by the James Webb Space Telescope and observatories around the globe and in space. To celebrate, we're going to share conversations with the science team, snippets of music, rehearsals, animations as the full movie comes together for the planetarium at the Museum of Science in Boston, and as the music goes on tour with orchestras. Now, although I'm a huge fan of science, I'm not trained as a scientist. So it's a joy for me as a musician to learn from the scientists at the Center for Astrophysics and further afield about their individual corners of inquiry and how it all fits together to tell the story of where our universe and we came from. And I hope you'll enjoy learning too. This period of the first billion years is special because it's how we go from a very simple universe of gas to a universe of light, wonder, stars, galaxies, planets, and us. A period of many universal firsts that we should be celebrating, and the incredible achievements of the scientists who've drawn back the veil on the cosmic dark ages. Join me for this adventure. Matt, it's great to see you again.
It's great to see you, David.
Yeah.
Such a pleasure.
Really excited to have this discussion with you all about the first billion years. I've had a number of scientists say how special and mysterious this period is. And I wondered, why is it so important?
Probably the primary reason is we don't understand how we got to where we are now. We are pretty confident we know how old the universe is. We don't understand the processes that unfolded between the Big Bang and the present day to create the universe that we see around us nearby. We live in a galaxy, a rather ordinary one. The galaxies at the frontier are not ordinary at all. But trying to understand the transition from the Big Bang to now is basically the reason that we want to study that time.
I mean, it sounds like a pretty important question. We all want to know the story of how we got here. I mean, that affects artists and scientists and everybody alike.
It's hard to quantify, perhaps, in terms of dollars, but I think you could argue it has a spiritual or emotional value that, despite being hard to quantify, is very important to many people.
We've all heard of the Big Bang. That didn't take a billion years.
No, the Big Bang was an instantaneous thing. Then there was inflation, which was a millionth of a trillionth of a trillionth of a second, or perhaps less. So just understanding that fact was a major scientific advancement.
Yeah.
And then the time that progressed from inflation through the first billion years to when matter and energy decoupled and the first stars formed and the first galaxies coalesced out of that. That's really where we're making strides right now.
So you've got a number of firsts in there. Stars, they're pretty important.
Yeah, that's actually one of the mysteries that has not been resolved. It's been very perplexing, these so-called population 3 stars. So we know that the stars, such as our sun, many of the stars in the local neighborhood are third generation stars. So they're not primordial. They're not even the second generation of stars, but they're the third generation, which means that their chemistry is enriched by 2 generations of preceding stars.
A generation is a birth, a life, and a death.
Right.
It's so exciting that we could find them with the technology that we have, where we could be on the cusp,
possible.
or we could be several telescopes away. I guess you don't know. I mean, what I get from just that, what you're explaining there, is that there's this whole story that's been unfolding and unfolding, and birth and death, long before we ever came on the picture. And our sun, the things that make it up, were part of other stars. And they were part of other stars, and possibly has a lot of baggage, maybe.
That's possible. You could look at it as baggage, or you could look at it as clues that we've been given that we just have to figure out. It's a little gift. I'm going to try not to get too emotional about it. But
not baggage, they're clues.
They're clues. They're clues. That's the way I like to...
You think like an astronomer there.
Right.
These beautiful galaxies, this Hubble, right?
That is a Hubble treasury image, yes.
So that's visible optical light. Could you get something like that in the first billion years?
Probably not, because this is a very organized galaxy. It has a pronounced bar, it's got a bulge. You can see dust lanes here where that trace the flow of matter along the bar into the center. You can even see the spiral structure here deep in the bulge where matter is swirling into the core. You can see the leading edge of the bar where the bar is spinning into the disk, which is a little less visible because it doesn't have as much surface brightness, where all these young stars are forming here, and there's spurs between the bar and the spiral arms, and you can see the dust lanes permeating the disk. The dust lanes tell you how much star formation there is. It's a very reliable measure. You can even see background galaxies of all types in this image because it has such exquisite...
You see a little one there.
Yeah, the one you pointed out, David, is interesting because it has the same structure.
Right.
Yeah.
Just many orders of magnitude further away.
It's probably 100 times more distant. So this image, to me, is quite special. It shows some stars in our galaxy. It shows this thing outside the galaxy. It shows this thing 100 or more times further away.
But that's still not first billion years.
Oh, no, not remotely. The galaxies that we would see in the first billion years would be tiny. They would be disorganized. They're just collapsing. They're not in a dynamically settled state. Here you can see what the dynamics are doing. You can get a sense of the rotation just visually, even though it's face on. That's unlikely to be possible with the tiny galaxies that have been born at the dawn of creation. But those things are going to coalesce to make things like this. And also, they may be dominated by their black holes or not. And there might be more chaotic structure to the whole population of both sorts of objects that gets somehow modulated to create things like this.
I mean, just gorgeous image, but also the intricacy and the story that intricacy tells us about this living system and the movement of matter and the birth of stars. All that didn't just happen.
No.
There's a long story behind it. There's one more thing that comes up in this early period, and it's got a kind of a spooky name.
Okay.
It's the cosmic dark ages. Could you tell us about what astronomers mean by that?
Well, there was a period of time after the Big Bang when stars had not yet re-illuminated the universe. And that period of time we call the dark ages.
No stars.
Yes, no stars, and we don't know a lot about it because it's so distant. And because it's not illuminated by the things that we astronomers use to learn, just, the stars and the photons they generate, it's very difficult.
You see these animations of the Big Bang, and out of the Big Bang you see all these stars and galaxies flying out, and that's completely wrong, right?
They did not come out fully formed.
We call it an explosion, maybe that's right, or at least this release of energy and everywhere all at once.
I to be honest, David, I struggle to describe it. I don't I don't quite know how to imagine it. It's unimaginable.
I mean, it
I
boggles the
struggle for
mind.
words, yeah.
The everything everywhere all at once part gets me, because it's, you think, well, if something is expanding, it has to come from a sort of a point and outwards,
Right.
but they say that that's wrong, right? We shouldn't.
So we are in the Big Bang, you know. We are riding it right now.
That explains a lot.
No, it's really something that I struggle to wrap my head around,
That,
and it's my job.
it provokes us all.
Yeah.
But then after this release, there's a cool down, and then darkness, or at least no stars.
So we didn't have stars, then we had the first stars. What were they? The population 3 stars.
I'm determined to try and evoke this story through music. I think the symphony is the perfect medium for it. And we've got, symphony can have characters. If you've seen the Multiverse Symphony, we know that we did that black hole symphony, and we had different regions around the galaxy played by different instruments.
The visible gleam of the stars, the silicate grains of the torus, the broad-line clouds and accretion disk, the iron line with its twisted X-rays.
This new story, we've got some of the major players I think we've talked about. So we've got the first star that comes into being, and then we've got early galaxies, and we've got, of course, black holes. Matt, do you have any sound that comes into your mind? I mean, it's really, I've got to dig deep here, but it's always good to ask.
Well, I hesitate to intrude on your domain, but of course, the French horn is what comes to mind when you think about the trackless immensity of space. For me, I know you used that in the symphony, and that totally resonated with me.
Such a beautiful instrument that it definitely evokes distance. The bell points backwards, designed to reflect off a surface and then diffuse around the room, so you can't quite pinpoint where the sound is coming from in the same way. So it's such a magical, warm sound as a result, and I can definitely see a way to use that for this immensity and also the dark ages. So that's a good one. We think of twinkling stars, don't we?
I guess we do.
Chimes, maybe.
Yes.
What's the murkiest thing? We talk about dust, haven't we?
Well, dust is, definitely murky by definition.
Can use some low frequency noise.
Or rasping maybe, I don't know.
Well, I have got my work cut out for me. Thank you so much, Dr. Ashby, Matt.
It's been a pleasure.
You've been so inspirational to me over the years, and I hope you'll join me in the journey as we bring this symphony to life and then share it.